Is blogging for everybody? Well, Mike Bogle, an e-learning researcher in Australia, responded to my video post on Is Blogging Rewarded recently, giving the reasons why he finds blogging useful in his role as an e-learning researcher. He gave several reasons why he finds blogging useful, including, in particular, the reflective aspect of blogging, when you might document some difficulties that you've experienced in learning a new concept, and then being able to return to those experiences at a later date. And he also mentioned the networking aspect of blogging, something I've touched on previously, and Mike's response to my video post again illustrates this concept. But should everybody blog? Well, I don't think so. I don't think that necessarily everybody should have a blog, just as I don't think that everybody should necessarily be expected to give presentations or to write software. But I do think that blogs can be useful in ways people may not have considered. For example, blogs could be a useful experience for technical staff or software developers as a documentation tool, engaging with users, describing why you're making particular design decisions. Especially as is sometimes, although of course not always the case, you may find that IT software developers are not necessarily skilled communicators and may be reluctant to explain the reasons for decisions they've made. I also think that blogs can be very useful as a dissemination, communication and documentation aid to support projects. This is something, for example, that UConn and ULCC has done recently for its JISC Preservation of Web Resources project, the JISC Power, JISC POWR project. We've set up a blog which we use to write about our ideas, our thoughts about website preservation, as well as to provide factual information about various events that we've been organising. Using a blog in this way has meant that the contents of our discussions are more easily accessed and cited and embedded elsewhere than would have been the case if we'd have maybe taken the traditional route of setting up a mailing list. The mailing list approach, we feel, would have attracted only the usual suspects, those with a particularly strong interest of preservation, and not our main target audience, the institutions who might not yet be thinking about preservation. But it's interesting when Mike suggested that blogging can also be useful for reflective thinking. And if you think some more about this, you realise that blogs don't actually have to be widely read. They don't even have to be made public. It could be that the most valuable aspect of a blog in some circumstances is the writing process itself and being able to revisit those thoughts. So perhaps a team blog or even a private blog can be useful in supporting one's professional activities.